Hello, welcome to the lobby, GameSpot's weekly hangout every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Rewind it.
That was lovely.
Rewind it, you like that?
I liked it.
Pretty happy with it. Hello, welcome to the lobby, GameSpot's weekly hangout every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on GameSpot.com. I'm your host, Danny Dwyer, joined as ever by Andy Bauman and his notebook. Yep, every time.
What's
every
up,
time.
Dan? Now I can talk as fast as you because I'm drinking Mountain Dew. Woo!
Wow, it's amazing. You're out Jeff Keighleying Jeff Keighley right now.
Yeah.
Every single week.
No, I'm wearing a
That's
Coke
the first time you
shirt.
called it out, though.
It's weird I'm wearing a Coke shirt. No, it's totally
It
different
is.
product.
It's almost like you're a
Pepsi
complete
product.
sellout, Mr.
Yeah.
Destiny
Oh,
Notebook.
do you like Destiny? Don't leave
My
my
God.
page. I've got notes.
Justin Haywald has been good enough to hide his coffee container.
I was going to bring a bag of Dorita. Oh no, it's actually just water.
What does that say? The Mighty Ducks?
No, they might be giants.
They might be giants.
It's this band.
Right.
It's a
You probably have not heard.
yeah. Everyone's got their.
I think they were in a
This.
Tony Hawk game.
Were they? We've been playing a bunch of Tony Hawk
Yeah.
this morning. We're going to talk about that later. The good things and the bad things. Also going to talk about the Witcher 3 expansion pack,
Ooh, you saw
known
it.
as
Hearts of Stone.
Hearts of Stone. You and Mahardy talked about it last week.
That's right. I mean, I saw the B-roll that they sent over for
Yes.
us to use in that video. But you guys actually played it, which I haven't been able to play. I mean, I'm excited to play it.
And they
Does that
didn't.
count?
And they didn't show the B-roll of what I played, which is
Yeah.
the weird Grand Theft Auto style heist stuff.
Yeah, so there's lots to talk
We're going to
about.
get to that later.
Okay.
We've also got Mary Kish had returned, and Justin and everyone returned from Tokyo Game Show. We got a bunch of stuff to give away from there. We're going to split it out over a couple of weeks. I just ran over and grabbed some random things from that bag we're going to give away this week. So stay tuned to be in with a chance to win some of that stuff. However, there has been an argument in the office for the past couple of weeks. Randolph Ramsey, in our weekly meeting this morning, wanted to put an end to it.
Okay.
He wanted to know which is better, Forza or Project Cars.
Yeah.
So you guys are taking positions on this. You
Yes.
you seem to
Oh, yeah.
have kind of strong opinions on both sides of
Well, I
the
mean,
camp
it's an
for this.
easy one. I mean, Forza is like the clear winner in this particular matchup.
You're a massive Forza fan.
Yeah, that's true. I can say
I'm
that.
a massive Project Cars fan.
I mean, I like Project Cars a lot. Because the great thing about Project Cars is it's on PlayStation 4.
Okay.
And it's on PC.
I played on PC, yeah.
Yeah, and Forza just isn't on those things. And I don't know if I'd have an Xbox if it wasn't for Forza.
I want to talk to you. Okay, Forza and you, first of all. The
Yeah.
reason why you own the car you own now.
It's a little bit because
Kind
of Forza.
of connected to Forza?
Yeah, I own a pretty badass car because of Forza.
Okay, explain that.
I would
one.
say that. Well, I've always wanted a WRX, a Subaru, and
Yeah.
so Forza just was like, yeah, you should get one, because why not? It's awesome. And so I got one with a really absurdly loud muffler and lowered to the ground, and it's badass.
It makes the worst noises ever.
Yeah.
How does it look in the rain?
Okay, so Drive Club still wins the rain debate.
Does
if
it?
you want to get real gritty with it.
It looks better?
It just looks cool. But Forza's rain play, like the actual feeling of the car, is great. I know at E3 it felt weird, because I played that demo too, and I was like, this is way too much. But like, dude, the rain in the actual game is really good, and like you feel like you're on the edge of control the whole time, and then you slide out, but then you can actually like recover really easily using the controller. Which brings me to my point. The controller itself. This is point one, I guess, if we're going, you know,
And comparing
bullet
this
points.
directly to Project
Yeah,
Cars.
Project Cars. So using an Xbox One controller, the game feels incredible, even compared to 5. And I was thinking it was like in my own head. But I think enough people have like agreed and confirmed that like the tweaks they've made to just make it feel great, the driving, the way you can like overcorrect and then like bring it back, all with the thumbstick, just is incredible. And you can tweak the hell out of the controls in Project Cars, and you pretty much have to even get it to feel good at all. Like the default settings, even on the Xbox One version of the game, are just awful for playing on a controller. You have to like tweak all and they give it, and like props to them, they give you everything. You can tweak everything in that game, which is cool as hell. And you can like get all the settings and you bracket it all in and get it all dialed, and then it's like, yeah, it still feels okay.
See, it's weird, right? Because I can't even argue that point because I play this game with a wheel and pedals, which is the way I love to play racing games.
Yeah.
Well, that gives you that better feedback. Like that is like racing a car. Do you even have that option with something like Forza?
You do, yeah, of course. I just have never done it because I just prefer the gamepad. I think it's
Forza is the only driving game I've ever played where I actually felt like the gamepad did a fantastic. Like I felt comfortable really driving with the gamepad because like I play all the old F1 games and stuff, and like playing those games with a pad just doesn't. For the type of driving you do and that sort of stuff, it doesn't work. And that's why I love on Drive Club, like the amount of different disciplines that are in there and the different types of handling required. Like I'll be driving like a Formula A car, which is their sort of Formula One take.
Are you talking about project cars?
Sorry, project cars.
Yeah.
Project cars. What did I say? Drive Club?
Yeah.
You said
oh God,
Drive
I'm
Club.
so sorry. All the go-kart stuff when
That
you're
is
starting.
really cool, I
that's-
agree.
It's incredible and it feels totally
Great
different. They're Formula B cars there. Like all the supercars, everything feels completely different. The feedback is different. The grip is different. Like I remember the first time I tried to drive a Formula A car, I went up through Formula C, Formula B, and I got to Formula A, and I was trying to like start on the line, my first race in Monza, and I like go into first gear, and the car just goes nope, and because I've got my foot to the pedal and pedal to the metal, and it just goes. You have to like teach yourself how each one of these cars feels with the steering wheel feedback. And I think it's like I've been enjoying Project Cars so much because, and it's the thing I think that surprises me is Project Cars is a racing game that doesn't have a rewind function.
Yeah.
So you have to be really good at it.
So I love the rewind function because, like, you're playing a game. I can't be like.
So yeah, the rewind
fully
function in Forza it lets
perfect.
you, once you mess up a little bit, you're able to go back in time a few seconds and make better choices, be a better driver.
Yeah, because like you go into a turn and you want to be like, all right, I'm gonna late apex this and like and see if that works out, and then like your ABS doesn't really catch and you just slide and you just blow the turn. You're like, all right, well rewind. But it's like I couldn't like play around with that sort of stuff in Project Cars. I felt like, although that is an experience to be like completely concentrating so much in Project Cars, you're like, oh god, turn. But I was playing really conservative and like I don't know. Looking at this footage though, I'm like, yeah, this game is pretty good actually.
It looks gorgeous too.
Yeah,
No,
and like
that's
the
the thing.
helmet cam and stuff too in Project Cars, I really like because it gives you the depth of field and it like gives you the view of the inside of the helmet, whereas like Forza doesn't really do that.
Yeah, like not many driving games do that where you actually see the helmet on your head. In fact, Chris and the guys in GameSpot UK did Oculus Rift on it, and apparently it's just insane because you've just got your eyes shielded like this. You can kind of barely hear the engine as well. It's kind of muffled a little bit, so you really feel like you're like stuck inside of the engine, or
So I think
not the engine in front of the wheel.
I think that's a good. I think Project Cars does have like this edge when it comes to things like that. Like the fact that you're gonna put VR on if you want to. It's like there's customization is just insane. The different disciplines are all like it's like it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
feature
guess.
set wise,
Feature set.
it's got a lot going on.
Yeah, and it's all like dial in, and like you want to do a race weekend. It's like you can qualify.
Yeah.
You can, get your place in the starting grid. You can decide how much
practice.
fuel. You can practice. It's like
You can, if you want, you can do like a Formula One.
you can do like 24-hour thing.
Yeah,
too.
or you can do like an F1 race with like 60 cars.
Oh, man.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah, so it's like
They all crash.
it's cool, but like, and I think that kind of gives it like this edge.
Yeah.
Well, for me, as a casual player, someone who
Yeah.
is definitely much more comfortable with Mario Kart than any of these really hardcore games, Project Cars looks amazing. Like, I love looking at screenshots of this game. Like, it's just
Right.
so realistic looking. And I think that stands out for just a lot of players, that you're able to get more out of a PC than you are out of any console. And it's going to look amazing on
Yeah, and it certainly does stand out. But like saying that, I think Forza is just like, it's the newest version, Forza 6. The cars all look just great. And the difference is, here's an example. In this clip, I'm driving an Alfa Romeo 4C, and this new track is amazing too. It looks really great.
It's the one in Brazil, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
the real
gorgeous.
track. And that's like, I don't think Alfa Romeos are even in Project Cars. I don't think the new Nissan IDX cool track toy is in Project Cars. Like, my Subarus aren't in Project Cars.
Yeah.
I could go on and on and on and on.
Formula E
There's-
is in Forza.
Yeah.
And in Project Cars, it's all fake, unlicensed Formula A. It's like a made-up thing, basically. It's F1.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, you're right. Even there's Lotuses.
I don't even think
F1
there's
Lotuses.
Lamborghinis in
Yeah.
Project
And
Cars.
that matters to you, right?
A little bit, because I come at it from, like, I like Top Gear. I like them doing weird stuff with really cool cars, and they, or just the films they make about testing the cars.
Car passion.
Car passion. Forza's got that shit down
Yeah.
so well, and it's never been better, because not only are you taking these cars out in the rain at night, they feel better, they control better on the Xbox, they control great on the Xbox. There's just so many of them. It's so comprehensive. There's so many tracks now. Forza 5, that was a problem. There was like no fucking tracks.
Yeah, that's true.
In 6, they give you money. Like, they just give you millions and millions of credits.
We're sorry about Forza 5.
Yeah, they're like, remember how you had to work really hard for your Subaru BRZ? Sorry about that. Now you can buy, like, $1 million car from the first, like, wheel spin or whatever. So, yeah, like, I don't know. Forza 6 just seems to be, like, this comprehensive package of serious car shit.
Yeah.
Like, the tracks, the cars, the way it controls, it's all there, and it's all ready to go. And it's like, yeah, you can't do a race weekend where you're qualifying, you know, running out your pit crew and your gas and like all that
Get
intricate.
that micro.
It's not like, yeah, it's so intricate. This is just like, no, like get top 3 in this race, and if you don't, restart, try again.
It's like Andy feels the way about Forza 6 as I do about Project Cars. It's just like something about, and it kind of comes down to the Pro Ev versus FIFA thing we had last week, where there's a certain element of like different strokes for different folks when it comes to car games, like how something feels is such like a really difficult thing to nail down, like why one game feels better than another.
Well, I mean, so these are a lot of big points. If you were, who is this game for? Like, it sounds like they're almost for different people in some ways.
Maybe.
And so who is Project Cars for? Who is Forza
Project
for?
Cars
Project
is a
Cars
game
is for PS4 gamers.
Well, no, well, by default.
Like, yeah, I mean,
but
it has to
Project
be.
Cars is a game that was developed by racing game fans. It's like a community. It's like an online shared. Like they were based in London, some of the team, but like it was built by a group of people who just love car games and wanted to make a car game for themselves. Forza is obviously the opposite end. It's this massive AAA thing. They've got the licenses, but it's also made by people who care about cars. So I guess it's like one of them is made for me. One of them is made for the console crowd. One of them is made for the PC crowd, and one of them is more hardcore, and another one is just a bit more, I guess, polished or rounded, I'd say, because Drive Club certainly is like has its like peaks and valleys.
Yeah, I don't know about Drive.
Project Cars.
It's Project Cars.
You keep saying Drive Club.
I don't like Drive Club. God damn it.
This is going to be a confusing video.
I'm interested to hear what people in the comments think, though. You're still you're Project Car. You're
I
Forza
love
Club.
Forza. Like, I didn't think I was gonna like Forza 6, right? Because I was like, well, it's just a few more cars and tracks, like whatever. But like, I don't know. They've just done enough that it's great. It's so good. And like Project Cars, I loved playing it in the summer because it was like, there's no Forza game right now. Although I was still playing Horizon 2, which is the best Forza game ever made. Anyway. Yeah, I like Project Cars, but I never felt comfortable. I was always like, I always felt like I was gonna crash the car, and then everything
Probably
sucked.
because you
And then
were.
I was.
Because I do, and then I hit restart over
But like
and over
with
again.
Forza, even if you mess up a turn or blow a thing, it's like you rewind, and then you watch the replay, and it's all seamless. It's like you didn't do anything wrong, and you drifted your way to success.
All right, you're still in the Forza camp.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
still in the Project Cars camp. I'm interested to hear what you guys think in the chat, though. Let us know. Are you actually, are you a Drive Club fan?
Yeah,
You just
sorry.
disagree with us completely. Do you like Project Cars? Do you like Forza? Are you waiting for Gran Turismo? Let us know in the comments below. We've got a bunch more stuff to talk about today. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is out. We're going to talk about The Witcher 3 with Mr. Mahardy in a little bit. But you two stay around. Tony Hawk's up next. But first of all, here's a trailer for Persona 4 Dance the Night Away. Dance it.
Dancing all night.
Have you heard that rumor? There's this weird video that plays on its own. When you watch the video to the end, you get taken away to the other side, and you never wake up.
Disappeared? The Kahneman Kitchen Girls?
If we can save people, I'm all for it. I think it's definitely better than doing nothing.
This definitely isn't the TV world. Could you help me out? I want to save them.
Count me in. Leave it to me. Hit it!
All right, here goes.
Now I have to dance.
I'm feeling the heat now!
Let the music play.
All right, let's start!
The power of bonds is real. We have to make it see.
It's Rize-senpai. I'll do my very, very best.
We'll show you great items at unbeatable prices.
We're super in sync. Persona!
We must brace ourselves. There's no knowing what to expect. Investigation team, let's move! Persona 4, dancing all night.
It's been 16 years since the first Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out. What? They've finally gotten around to making a fifth one, and he suddenly feels very old.
Oh,
16
where
years,
did
man.
it all go wrong?
16 years.
We're still talking about video games.
1999, man. Crazy.
Tight.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is out today. By no means the fifth Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game. We played a bunch for this morning. It's come out. It's controversial.
Yeah.
Let's break it down. Okay, Justin, you haven't played any. What will be the first question you have about me and Andy, who have played it a bunch this morning?
Well, I played it a little bit. So why is this the game that's coming back after? I think people really gravitated towards Skate, to a very different style of controlling. Like Tony Hawk feels like a throwback in a lot of ways. Is this the kind of experience that you guys wanted after how well received Skate was?
I'm a massive fan of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I'm a huge fan of the Skate series. I think Skate series is probably like top 5 best sports games of all time. Probably in there with Hawk a little bit. I think it's just a matter of that game was very much catering to the skateboarding crowd. Like that was to people who like care about like nailing, shove it over a 3-stair, as opposed to Tony Hawk, which is kind of this like skate culture melange of like music and like popular skaters and interesting maps and sort of crazy modes and objectives. So to me, it's like, oh, Activision had this thing. This is the right time to bring it back. This and Guitar Hero. Why not?
Oh, God, yeah.
What I'm kind of surprised about is that this is a $60 game, because that game, Tony Hawk's 1 or 2 or 3, incredible games. That game released nowadays isn't this type of experience that because it's very repeatable, so it doesn't feel like the type of game that you'd spend $60 on now, or would be charged for that. Especially in 2015, when you've got games that are charged 99 cents the whole way up to $50 and everything in between, or 60 and everything in between. So that's the way in which I think this game feels a little bit weird. Does this feel like a $60 game to you so far, Andy?
No, and I know that the HD remake wasn't a $60 game,
Yeah.
and it kind of feels that caliber. Although it like seems to work a little bit better, like overall. But I was actually thinking like, when I was doing so first point, when I played Tony Hawk 5 for the first time, it was like a couple weeks ago, and we were doing a little demo, and I didn't have it. I was like, what happened? I'm not. And I kind of blamed the game.
Yes, doesn't feel like Tony Hawk's.
Doesn't feel like Tony. And then last week we were working on our big thing about Tony Hawk, and we played a bunch. And we played on PS3, the original game with the like backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened. I was like, oh, this is 15 years later. My brain's changed. My hands are changed. Like, I can't do this shit. So I was like, okay, so it's not the game. It's me. I just suck really bad.
So have you gotten used to it again?
So
this
now I've
morning?
gotten back into it after playing a lot from the original games. And then this morning we were playing a lot. And like, I'm not nearly as good as you, because you had a lot of like practice with the old games, and you were like slaying those down, and then you're slaying this down. And then it's like, okay, I started picking this back up, started feeling it, and it's like, oh yeah, this feels good.
Yeah,
it
so
feels familiar.
The main
and
change
it works.
I think that they've done is that now when you hit the grind button, it basically slams you down.
Yeah, and we were like, maybe that's bad, but you can correct yourself off of vert ramps where you go off and it's like you're gonna land flat.
Yeah.
And then you like, it kind of reorients you and slams you down.
Which is a nice little
Which is
feature,
good.
but it definitely changes the flow. So like, if you're like whereas before you'd hit triangle to basically queue up a grind, so you do a click, you do a jump, and you're about to hit one, you'd hit triangle, and then by the time you hit it, it knew you hit triangle.
Yeah.
Whereas now if you do it, it basically, almost like snowboarding style, you pressure down to like, sort of, like it slams you back down to the ground. So that changes up the game a bit. And then outside of that, there's kind of, I guess let's break this down. This is a game where you sort of, it's kind of more in the realm of Tony Hawk's 3, where you've got as much time as you want in these areas, and you basically go up to objective markers that are lit around the map, and then there are things like, okay, here's a part where Tony's going to shout moves at you, and you have to do the tricks. Or here's a bit where you have to like do as many manuals as you can in 2 minutes, or get as many vert scores as you want. And in the first level here in the barracks, which is Reynolds' real skate park down in LA, that's like, okay, like these are like tutorial-y kind of objectives that they're trying to teach me. Except then I went to the next level and it was almost the same objectives, just in a different place. Like there was one here when you're in this pool, or sorry, in the barracks, where it's like they fill the pool full of
balls.
Yeah, big inflatable balls, and you have to like skate into them and get rid of them and get them all out. And it's kind of fun. It's like a neat little diversion. Except then I went in School 3, which is like the new version of School 2, and there was a pool inside, and they're like, yeah, but the balls are now sports balls from school, but you still have to get rid of them. So like now I'm a little bit worried that there's like that much repetition happening in it.
And I avoided the like objective-based stuff when I was
just
playing.
free skating, right?
I was just free skating. I found that to be good, and I was like, oh, this is toned down as far as like like you don't spin as fast. Like I wasn't spinning sevens.
You can't
You're
do
only
like
spinning
double, triple
threes.
kickflips either.
Yeah,
You can't
so-
flick the ball and have it go.
I was like, oh, is this more like skate? Like, is it like some sort of hybrid?
Don't
where
go
I have
crazy.
to like go a little easier and like really plan out your routes? And like, yeah, if you plan out your routes, you'll be rewarded really well and like it'll be awesome. But then I like hit these ramps in school too.
Yeah.
And just like arbitrarily launch you.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was spinning sevens, no problem. And then like when you hit the special, you do like a multiple. You can like it just basically turns all your tricks into specials, which
yeah.
is kind of cool.
Which is weird.
But then those are like more fantastical, where like it's not skate anymore. It's more back to
you do a
Tony
kickflip
Hawk.
and he does a Christ air because
Yeah.
you're in like special mode.
And
So do
so
you
it's
like
cool.
that? Is it?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that fun?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, definitely.
different.
I just wasn't sure where the where it was on the spectrum, and now I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's more Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
It's still Tony Hawk. It's just you gotta like find those spots that launch you to in order. I still haven't spun 9. Like I don't know.
It does feel though. I was talking to Jeff Gersman from Giant Bomb right before we came on, and he was saying that they're getting reports. They know that big patch that arrived. The first like day 1 patch is like as big as the game or whatever, like about 7 gigs. Apparently that has most of the game in it, and it kind of does feel like a game that was finished about a week ago
Yeah.
because like the UI stuff is super weird. Like for instance, if you go up to an objective marker, you have to stop right beside it, like knowing you can't get off the board. You have to stop and then hold down X. It's not like Burnout where you could like go in the realm of it and then hold X and it'll start. You just go right there, and then when you do that, for some reason like the menu swaps from the analog stick to the D-pad, and you're like, okay. And it's the weird stuff like when you start objectives, sometimes I don't have a clue what I'm doing. The first time I kind of have to figure it out for myself. Like there's one where I had to light tiki lamps. And it didn't really tell me anything about where they were, and then I was like, no, you can't, you're outside the objective area, go back here. So it seems very rough around the edges in that
Well,
respect.
the thing that's getting the most attention right now are people having horrible glitches. That's what's getting
Yeah.
shared around on
Yeah, which
video
is
side.
weird.
Is that what you guys have been experiencing?
Not at all.
No, I think we've seen one in the past 2 hours, but then
Yeah.
we've only been, so we haven't been playing online, and we've also not been doing
Maybe that's a big one.
and we've not been doing the like, we've been
Creative
doing
mode.
the
Creative
yeah.
park.
So all the created levels, apparently, that's where that's
That's
happening.
where the
So there's a
collision's
Eurogamer video
bad,
out
yeah.
where people are going through the floor and all that sort of stuff. But I haven't seen that happen in the 3 levels that we've played anyway. So it doesn't seem like
yeah.
the total hot mess that the internet's making it out to
No,
be.
not at all.
But it's
Is
also
it a $60 mess?
it's like man,
whatever?
if this is like Peter's reviewing it for us. This is real like middle of the road. I'm enjoying it because it's like a big nostalgia hit.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely enjoying this and will genuinely probably try and like 100% this game. Like
Really?
kinda. Like
Oh,
I'm,
man.
I'm into
I
it
just
even
like
if
free
it's-
skating. I don't know if I'll ever do the missions, man.
Maybe.
I
The
mean, you have
music's
to
good.
unlock the levels though. So I guess I will if
you
I
have
ever.
to do that with the
not
same
play on
skater.
Eureka.
It's weird though because they have things like create a skater mode. There's no like slot for you to create somebody. You just have to edit an existing skater, which seems weird. It's just super light in
I'll
terms
just
of
edit
like,
Andrew
features.
Reynolds to be
Yeah.
Andrew Bauman.
It's like I don't really like Nigel Houston. I guess I'll just change. I'm about the same height as him. I'll
Yeah.
just do that. You
YOLO
know?
County.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I feel like I'm enjoying it mostly out of the fact that I'm a big Tony Hawk's Pro Skater fan,
Yeah.
and also because I think I came in with this with such low expectations that I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised that it's kind of all right.
So maybe not the best introduction though for people who don't have that nostalgia hit, who didn't grow up with Tony Hawk.
No,
Who knows? I can't. I don't.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Like
that
maybe.
you?
Not what I grew up
played?
with. Skate or Die.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, hell yeah. I had
Does that make you
too.
feel a little bit younger?
No, it makes me just feel older now. It's like older.
So
Because
yeah,
I played Skate or Die.
I'm very interested to see what reviews for this game because I can see it like sliding completely on opposite ends. And it's kind of like what we were talking about the card games earlier. So much of it goes down to what Andy was saying at the start. Like, does this feel right?
Yeah.
Does this feel like I'm in control of what's happening?
Easily blame the game for being terrible.
Now, I just went over to Dan Reichert and he was like, this does not feel like a Tony Hawk game to me.
Yeah, but see, he's remembering wrong, I bet. Because that happened to me. I was
like when you go back and play Resident Evil and you're like, oh man, this is like impossible to control. I totally forgot that games, or like the original Tomb Raider. Like
games
the,
were shit.
the version you have in your head of how the original Tomb Raider played is like totally different
Dude.
to the reality of it. So I wonder if
The game looks very arcadey, and that's kind of what
Yeah.
I remember as Tony Hawk being an arcadey version of this kind of game, and feels like it's going to live up to that.
I just worry that I really don't think it's a $60 game. Like,
Is it going to be
right.
better than Tony Hawk Ride when you had that
Yes.
controller that was the skateboard?
I can confirm right now that it is better than Tony Hawk Ride and
that the last
Shred.
one?
Shred was the last
Last
one.
one?
Yeah, I think that had snowboarding in it as well.
Oh, tight. I should
yeah.
play that.
There's a snowboarding level in it. Well, There's
There's
a
a mountain
snow
level.
level.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think we have to
Gotta
play
unlock it,
some
though.
more and unlock them all and see how the rest of it plays. But yeah, for early adopters, this really does not feel like a $60 proposition. But I guess we'll find out what GameSpot.com thinks real soon. Peter Banner is reviewing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. And that review will be up sometime this week. I think he's got a lot more playing to do because we didn't get an early copy as well, which is always a little bit of a concern. But if you've played it or seen people play it or are a big fan of the series or looking to get into it, let us know what you think in the chat and in the comment box below. All right, we got one more section to talk about. I've got some Gwent cards here.
Real ones?
Real Gwent. We'll get to that in a
Games to
second.
life?
Ga-
Games to life instead of lives to game? Wait, what?
Hey, Disney Infinity, watch your back.
Yeah.
But before that, actually, we're going to give away a little swag bag, which Mary Kish brought back. Gentlemen, do you want to have an item each from the swag bag?
Yeah, what do I get?
All right, so we got so much stuff. Mary brought back so much stuff, like over $100 worth of stuff from Japan. So we're going to do this. We're going to divvy this out in a bunch of different ways. The GameSpot Twitter account, at GameSpot, is going to be tweeting at the end of the show. So make sure you follow at GameSpot and retweet for a chance to win. This is for North America only. And the items we're giving away this week are Justin Haywald.
We got a Kirby from Hoshino Kabi, is what it says on the thing. It's just a generic Kirby from the Nintendo franchises. Super cute, smiling. He's not the angry eyes Kirby that we get in the States. He's the happy eyes Kirby.
Because he's back in his native land. Although now we have stolen him from his native land.
Yeah,
So
you'd
who
think he
knows?
would have gotten angry on the way here, but no.
Andy Bauman, what do you got? Mystery box.
Some sort of mug?
Some sort of mug.
With Final Fantasy characters. This
Oh.
one, I think, was specifically from Final Fantasy XIV. So you have some Moogles and
I see a chocobo.
there's Chocobo, a whole bunch of enemies from the game.
My
There's an
favorite-
airship.
There's a cat.
My favorite part is that along the bottom it says 2010, 2013 Square Enix, all rights reserved, Final Fantasy.
Oh.
At the bottom, 15. Maybe it's a Final Fantasy
Square
15.
Enix.
There you go. And last but certainly not least, oh God, Curry of the Biohazard.
Yeah.
Biohazard, of course, the title for Resident Evil in Japan.
And the curry's green. It's actually green
It's great.
curry.
And I wish you could be
What's it
here with
flavored?
me to, it's like in there. It's like a pack.
gooey?
It's like a goo situation.
Yeah, you can heat it up in hot water and then just eat it straight out of the pack.
Green herb healing curry. So combine two of these together to get 3 times as much. I'd love to read the ingredients to you, but they're all in some sort of weird language that I don't speak. Can you
Jay
read that?
can read that.
Jay, you know
Yeah.
Japanese.
Well, it's going to be made with onions, spinach.
Say that. Wait, are you making it up or are you?
No, tamanegi, horenso, toriniku, so chicken, coconut miruku, coconut milk powder. It's like there's also like the words in Japanese that are just kind of loan words.
Okay.
So it literally says in a phonetic alphabet, kokonatsu miruku powder.
All right.
Whoa, really? That's cool.
Egyptian
I can speak
beans,
Japanese
Language
better
is
than I
crazy.
thought.
green curry paste,
Important.
basil paste, sugar, fish flakes,
I like I said basil, not basil.
chicken exu.
I was gonna correct
chicken extract.
Does
you
it have
ever-
green herbs?
Were you ever in
Basil.
a situation in TGS and Japan when your speaking Japanese saved your life? Or like,
I might have died if I wasn't able to speak Japanese.
yeah.
They're very strict there.
Did you ever get out of a sticky situation though? Like what happened?
Not
Any stories?
this year. It's helpful. It's helpful to speak Japanese, but everyone there is so nice. Like
Yeah.
Japan is just incredibly polite and just will bend over backwards to help you do things. And especially when you're in Tokyo, when you're in Osaka, like people speak English. If you
Yeah.
don't know what's going on, they will
okay.
wait, and they'll find someone who speaks English better than they do. And like,
You lived out in the countryside. Like
Yeah, I
when
lived-
you lived there, you were like nowhere near a major
middle of
metropolitan city.
nowhere, Okinawa.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to survive. Like that was how I went to the grocery store and like, what can I eat? What is here is food. Please help me, because otherwise, like on the
else would
dumb
they
floor
say?
notes, I can just eat this like that. I'm stupid, sorry,
It's just gone up in value now that Justin's put it in.
because I licked it a little.
Curry of the Biohazard, sweet Final Fantasy Cup, and a Kirby can be all yours. Make sure you follow GameSpot on the Twitter, RT that bad boy, and cross your fingers for a chance to win all that sweet swag. Sweet swag. There it is. I like the box the cup comes in the most. That's great. Awesome. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a second. Mike Mahardy's in the wings. We're going to talk about The Witcher 3 and play some Gwent. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a second.
Mary here at TGS 2015, and I am here to get you guys some awesome swag at all the different merch booths we have here. There's a lot of sweet stuff.
There is a huge Capcom booth, and of course, Square Enix always has not just regular products you can buy, but amazing display cases filled with goodies. So I'm gonna walk around and see what kind of cool stuff I can get. To go through here, but all this stuff can be yours. I'm going to be giving away on the lobby, so be sure to stay tuned to the lobby on GameSpot and check it out and find out how you can win all this awesome stuff. I want to take it all home with me, but I can't. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned so you can win some of this awesome stuff. Bye!
Dude, I got Geralt of Rivia in this pack. I got Gerald of Rivia right there. Look at him. I got Ghoul. I got Griffin. Griffin's got 5 attack. Mike, what about your pack? You're playing with the monster pack.
Oh, so I got the bad guy. Sweet. It's upside down.
Full pack. You don't have
Flip
to.
that over first.
Look how many vendors I went to and special quests I did.
Dennis Cranmer. Don't recall meeting him throughout The Witcher 3, but
Dennis Cranmer.
he looks, I think he's a dwarf.
This seems like a lot easier than in-game where you have to collect these
Yeah.
one by one.
Clear weather.
I did
I'm gonna
not
do
have
clear
to
weather.
sword fight a goblin for these.
How much
in
Gwent
real
did you
life.
play in The Witcher 3?
The bare minimum.
I played loads.
Yeah, it was good.
Great.
I'd rather be killing ghouls and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Then collecting a sick fiend.
Or Mahakaman.
Fiend. Or a Mahakaman. This is the boxed copy of The Witcher 3's expansion pack, Hearts of Stone, which I love because you literally open up the box and then inside is a download code for the game.
I was going to say, so the expansion pack is not actually a game. It's
No.
the hard card game. That's the new expansion pack.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a piece of card here with the code on it, which I can't show you folks. And then you basically have a thing that has a bunch of Gwent in it. 2 full packs. It's got the, I guess, the monster set and, I forget the name of what you call this, the main set, whatever it's called.
Starter deck.
Yeah, whatever. I forget
I
the
got
name.
Torrential Rain,
Torrential Rain.
but apparently in the Northern Kingdom, spears fall when it rains as well.
Yes. You got to be careful.
Cloudy with a chance
Look at
of
these things. I
javelins.
love this. Look at all this like stuff. So like Gwent, it's like so complicated. My favorite thing is that they give you 2 packs because if they gave you 1, you'd have to find someone else who also bought the box expansion pack. And you can easily divvy these up into like 2 people. Like you could chop this pack in half easy and still have an absolute massive set.
And even though this is like a physical version that you can play, they've said before that they don't want to turn this into its own game.
Yeah.
Mostly because like some of these rare cards make your deck kind of
OP.
Yeah.
I know.
way OP.
Geralt of Rivia has like something stupid like 16. So like that's ridiculously OP. But we're not here to talk about real world Gwent.
There's more to this expansion than
is-
Gwent.
There is. The expansion also comes with a video game. We played a bunch of Hearts of Stone last week.
Hearthstone?
No, not Hearthstone. It's
Oh.
not Hearthstone.
Oh, that's
it's
dangerous.
Hearts of Stone.
Hearts of Stone.
I
to be
know. Look,
confused.
I know it's a card game, and it says Hearts and Stone on it, but it's not Hearthstone. Hearts of Stone.
The next expansion, Magic Gathering.
Yes, Magic Gathering coming soon.
Gathering of the Magics.
Oh god damn it! Yeah, they probably should have thought of that actually. But we played some Hearts of Stone last week.
Yeah.
We played for maybe 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And what was interesting was that we sort of split during our time doing it. Before I talk about the weird stuff that I saw that we have no B-roll of, tell me about your experience. What do you think of Hearts of Stone?
I liked it a lot, actually. We played about, like you said, 2-3 hours of about 10-hour total expansion, they said. But again, it's a big world, so you'll probably be wandering off the beaten path once in a while. But basically, you just initiate it by going to a bulletin board where they have this Witcher contract for to hunt a beast down. And you keep hearing about it, and you end up going into the sewers, as you can see here. And Geralt, being himself, is ready to kill something, and so was I.
And in fact, what I liked about it, this boss fight, and there was a couple more right off the bat. I felt like I think I did 3 in the first 2 hours, and they were all interesting. I played this one on hard mode and barely figured it out. After the sort of, it's a massive. Well, let's not say it for the sake of spoilers. Actually, it's a cool boss.
It definitely, you have to fight it differently than you might just like a regular ghoul. It's not. It doesn't fall into those categories that the old ones did. Just like a ghoul or a drowner or
a flying beast
or
or
a griffin.
something. Yeah,
this is totally new. It was tough actually. I died once. I think I played on the normal difficulty.
Yeah, I just about did it. I did it on hard, and I just about did it.
Does this pick up after the main game's finished, or is this kind of in between?
So this picks up. You have to be. Is it level 30?
Yeah, recommended around 30.
Most of the bosses most of the enemies I was fighting were like 32, 33, and by the time I was finished, it was starting to creep towards 34 to 35. A couple of hours into it. So it's you can go into it at any stage, but you'll never be able to complete that early mission unless you're. That's almost like the difficulty gate they have. And in fact, later on, I had story stuff happen, which definitely happened later in the game, referred to. So it's built into it basically. So you need to be around 30 or so, like in the last third of the game, for instance.
So this is also the part I did. I don't know if you saw this part.
No, this is like the ghost thing.
Yeah, so Olgierd von Everick, he's the guy who originally gives you the quest. He gives you these 2 seemingly mundane objectives.
Yes.
You did one, I did the other. Yours sounded way cooler, although mine was pretty entertaining.
It's like the crux of this is that you have to complete for some reason you have to complete a list of things for this guy.
And what's pretty cool about it is they all sound like boring fetch quests. It's like, take my brother out for a night on the town. You're like, seriously, he could just as easily go to a tavern by himself and drink alone. But as it turns out, that's a little more complicated. Again, it's very story heavy, so I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's a lot more entertaining than that.
It's very well set up, actually.
And then you did one as well.
Yeah, I did one, which, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it because it was certainly fun to find out. But it basically... The mission that I took on was essentially a heist from Grand Theft Auto 5, where I needed to get inside of a building, and I was sent on a bunch of missions to get the crew to do so. So there was a way to get into this building, but I needed to have explosive expert, and it gave me details on these 2 rich characters, one of which I could pick up and get. And I also needed to have a sort of an infiltration expert. And there was this cool gymnast lady and this other person, this troll or dwarf or something that I could also hire. So immediately went, okay, this is all you have to do, go out and find these people. And in the limited time we had, I went out and found 2 of them to try and see what they were like. And then they had these very interesting, unique moments happen to them. So
were you playing with them? Did they play along with you and you got to see how their abilities kind of would help you in battle or in the culmination of this heist?
Yeah, you had to kind of convince them to come with you. And some of them were having their own problems and maybe you need to help. Or I had one who was freaking out because he had a domestic problem at home, let's say. And then I think you could probably talk him out of it, but I bet living crap out of him instead. And he decided to work for me. So it felt like a really clever setup. And also there was earlier in it, there was a part where I was basically in an auction. And because I had an account that said a project had given to us which had lots of money on it, I basically outbid everyone. But there was all these interesting, unique dialogue things that happened during the auction that could let you know information about the stuff that was on offer. And you weren't even there for the auction, you were there for a completely different reason. But it was it's just everything about what I played over the first couple of hours of this felt rich. Felt like really interesting boss fights, really unique situations I didn't see during my time playing Wild Hunt. And I really liked the setup of the main quest with that antagonist as well.
Yeah, von Everick,
Yeah.
Olgierd. Yeah, essentially.
Great character.
Yeah, he was.
We can't talk about
There's
why.
so much I want to talk about.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
And we only played 1/5 of this expansion.
Yeah.
Initially, we had talked on the lobby a week or 2 ago about when we're going to get into this, and I originally said maybe like early next year to bring me into the next expansion, but now that I played it, it's definitely on my list of things I want to play among like, those big AAA games coming out this fall, because essentially what you did was like Geralt's 11, or like it was like the heist in this fantasy setting. I kind of went to a wedding and it was like a sitcom, but mine was entertaining as well, but now I really just want to see the heist, and then there's that other quest that neither of us really went too far into that.
There's more stuff. I also did a side quest that was optional that was in this expansion pack, which was pretty interesting as well.
Yeah,
this girl kept calling me Puss Peepers, probably because I had cat's eyes or whatever. She kept calling me Puss Peepers, and Geralt was not happy with it. That was really cool. And then there's a bunch of other stuff as well. There's new abilities, a lot of which we didn't unlock because they kind of gave us all the points, but we just sort of hurriedly put them all in. And there's a couple of new special magic abilities, new items as well. Quite a lot in there.
And we met Shani for the first time in Witcher 3.
Yeah,
He's
of course.
Cool character.
Which I guess fans of the series will remember, and she seems very interesting. I liked your explanation on the video. She's kind of smarter than Geralt.
Yeah, very much so.
And like it's kind of, she has a humility to her, so she kind of talks down to him, but not in a, she's not looking down on him. She's just trying to like ease him through it, which is kind of, it's an interesting dynamic, I think.
Yeah, the dialogue's awesome, especially because the brother of Von Everett that you bring out for the night, she joins you at certain parts.
Oh, really?
So it's just her brother being really crass and crude and like just like kind of like hitting on her the entire time.
Yeah.
And Geralt's kind of like, all right, just chill out, stop being a jerk. And then, but she just the whole time doesn't even give him the time of day. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
She just ignores it. But yeah, you sense that Geralt's kind of picking up on the fact that he's way outpaced by her in terms of intelligence. So she kind of takes it easy on him in terms of verbal back and forth, which is kind of funny to see him not the boss of the conversation.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to jump in earlier to this as well, I think, based on playing that. I'm powering through my Geralt at the moment. Justin, you played a little bit of The Witcher 3. You played like 10, 15
Yeah, I got about
hours
10, 15 hours through it. And I think it's interesting that you guys mentioned, like, it's going to be such a busy holiday, but that you're still drawn into this world. That, like, there's both enough content and that it's interesting enough that you want to go back into The Witcher 3. And I still have to finish The Witcher 3. This is going to be a busy end of the year because we also have a lot of big RPGs, Fallout 4, like Fallout 4 on itself. Like that's just an intimidating thing to think about.
Big time. It's out October 13th, so not too far to wait, around the sort of $25 mark, depending if you're buying it online or at retail. So let us know what you think. Are you going to pick it up? Are you going to pick up this hot, physical, Hearthstone
Is that
version?
a special edition or is that every edition of the game?
Well, you can buy it digitally, and it doesn't have this.
Oh.
But if you buy this, so I imagine this probably costs a little bit more. But yeah, no disc included. It says right in the top. PC download only. Contains Hearts of Stone download code, 2 Gwent cards, 154 cards in total with game tokens. So yeah, you're essentially just buying this. What's it say?
Riordan?
Sure.
Some elf?
Reardon, is it? Reardon, mate. That's an Irish name. Come on, you should know that.
Gaelic
Mike Mahardy.
My middle name's Irish Gaelic as well.
What is it?
Ruan.
Ruane.
R-U-A-N-E.
Ruane.
Ruane, as Americans say.
Yeah, it is
Those
Ruane.
Americans.
Yeah.
Get out of
Those
here.
dastardly Americans.
Oh yes, Americans.
For more weird Gaelic surnames, check out The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Hearts of Stone, coming, like I said, October 13th. And let us know if you're going to pick it up. Let us know if you're going to pick up the weird Gwent version. Let us know if you're going to play Gwent with your friends in the comments below. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on today. Mike, what do you got on for the rest of the week? What about that? You couldn't talk about stuff last week because it was under embargo. Is any of that stuff out?
Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection review goes up at 7 a.m. tomorrow, Pacific time. And then I'll be playing a lot of Civilization Beyond Earth's Rising Tide expansion.
Yes.
The embargo for that review sometime next week.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you think of that.
Yeah.
Because I guess Civilization Beyond Earth was sort of criticized for being a little bit pedestrian. Didn't really shake the boat up much, but no pun intended. Rising Tide seems to be like doing that.
That was good.
Damn
yeah.
it.
They're trying to flesh out the middle turns as opposed to just the beginning and end.
Yeah.
So it's trying to make it more exciting throughout, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
See if it's ship shape next week, matey. Justin, what are you doing?
So October, I can't reveal some of the things that I might know that are going to be coming up, but October is going to be exciting for more than just Halloween, the middle of the month. If you guys can remember maybe an anniversary of something that's going to be kind of important to us in geek culture.
Okay.
There's going to be some exciting stuff, and I'm really excited to see how big this gets.
Goddamn.
I can't give too many hints, but it's gonna be really
If someone
cool.
else can figure that one out for me, please put it in the comment box below.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk.
Tony
He's back.
Hawk.
I'm going to go play some more Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. See if the objectives are repeated throughout the next 5 levels as well. And apart from that, XCOM 2, we've got a bunch of features going up next week about that. We talked to Jake Solomon at PAX Prime. And yeah, of course, Fear Axicon is on this weekend. We've got exclusive streaming on GameSpot.com. Josh, Shaw, and Eric Tier are going to be heading out there over to Baltimore to stream all that stuff. So make sure you check out the site over the course of the weekend as well to see Sid Meier and co. talking mess about all their sweet games. Thank you very much, guys, for coming on the set today. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks to everyone in the back, of course. Dan Mahork, Josh Shaw, Eric Tay, Mary Kish, although she came back from Japan, has now gone off doing other crazy things. Is there a thing under embargo they're doing?
I think it is.
It is?
I don't think
a month of coverage of
what
something.
they're doing. This thing is going to be spread out. It's going to be a big thing on GameSpot.
Well, follow Mary on Twitter to make sure you catch up on that. And of course, GameSpot's Twitter account if you want to win all the cup and the zombie and the Kirby and all that stuff. Make sure you follow and retweet if you're in North America for a chance to win that. And thanks very much for watching. We'll be back next time, of course, 2 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday right here on GameSpot.com. Take care, enjoy your games, and we'll see you next week.